This is HRTV Rewind, taking a look back at the racing week.
Real quick,
Okay.
out of bullet, Joe.
All right.
A little jackpot trivia
Okay.
to start things off. Have there been any jackpot winners that have won the Derby?
Kentucky Derby? No.
You're right.
I don't think.
The answer's
okay.
no.
All right. Okay.
5 years from now, same question.
How about a maybe?
I think maybe.
Maybe, but I
Starting
don't know.
around.
All right.
Okay, can you hit a jackpot? I know you love the one-armed bandits.
Oh, yeah.
With numbers and cherries?
I say no. Am I right?
The only way to hit a jackpot is to join us here on HRTV.
Don, good afternoon. Welcome to Race Day.
Thank you very much for having me on. Getting ready for a huge day here tomorrow.
Well, let's talk about this. What a card. I mean, up and down, plenty of money, over $2.1 million in purses. But even though it's a grade 3, it don't look like a grade 3 as far as the $1 million Delta jackpot is concerned.
Yeah, I think we're the highest ranking grade 3 in the country. We're pushing for that grade 2. We're hoping for it.
Well, you have a 2-1 favorite in the race, Drill, who many of us know here in Southern California from the Bob Baffert barn. Kind of eliminated at the start in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Well back that day. They had blinkers, and I understand the horse came in to see you on Wednesday. Have you seen him?
Yes, we took pictures of him on the backside. He has gone out and galloped. He looks very good. Looked like he took the trip very well. He flew from Southern California to Shreveport, I understand, then took about a 4-hour van ride. Got to Delta Downs about 3 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon and was in good spirits when he got off the van.
Nice to talk to you this morning. I heard some of your Longview Drive comments, and he is very interesting, jumping from 6 furlongs to a mile and the 16th last time and getting it done.
Yeah, you know something? It's one of those deals where you don't know how good he is, and why not take a shot? You get a top-class rider to string along, you get a Hall of Fame trainer calling the shots, and in a race like the jackpot, looking for 4 wins in a row, 10-1 on the morning line. This is a good betting race. How did you see it?
Oh, I agree with you. He's very interesting. I like him a lot, and also, he's a full brother to Pyro, past winner of the Louisiana Derby, so I don't know. He's got a license to be a nice horse, Longview Drive.
We actually do our own breeding there on the farm, and it's always a collaboration between Kelly Breen, our trainer, and Dale Hawley, our farm manager. And we have to look at each mare very carefully. But when it came to Silent Justice, who didn't race for us, but we thought her pedigree was quite good, we decided to keep her and see what kind of offspring we could get. And we thought that Presently Perfect would be a great fit for her, and we came out with my Adonis, so he's looking pretty good.
Well, after the Delta Jackpot, couple of stakes races, and you have big opportunities in there as well. The Samstown in Nacho Business, he's the even money morning line favorite for that race as he stays at this 7 furlong distance off of a big win. How do you guys feel about this opportunity, and what led you to bring him down to Delta Downs? Was it just going with the contingent along with the other horses that you had running today?
Well, obviously we want to make a big day out of the races today, and Nacho Business is the type of horse that, even as a yearling, he showed so much potential, and he just hasn't quite hit his stride. We had put him in the Louisiana Derby with Pants on Fire, and we thought that that was going to be his breakout race, and that wasn't the case. And we feel like he's finally, maturing, and this could be a big day for him.
Elvis Trujillo shakes the reins on Nacho Business, and he just takes off. Nacho Business draws clear by 5. He left Texas Citizen in his wake. On the outside, smoke through a keyhole. To the inside, it's Herp, but this one goes to Nacho Business. Then it's Matt Mondo on the outside, Omniscient to the inside. Any one of 4 could win this with a 16th of a mile to go. It's Decisive Moment. Hooray for Hollywood. Matt Mondo on the outside. Decisive Moment wins it by a neck in the mile. Remit has a head in front. Bella Medallia is trying to fight back. We have a 2-horse race with a 16th of a mile to go. Bella Medallia is getting the upper hand, showing her class. It's Bella Medallia in the treasure chest. Tapatia is set down by Gerard Malonson now to try to stick ahead in front of Molly's Misbehavin', but she isn't giving an inch. A 16th of a mile to go. Molly's Misbehavin' is fighting back. Tapatia on the outside. It's Molly's Misbehavin' to win the Orleans. drop back second. Down along the inside, it's 10 Sauce Salt. Late run from Izzy's goal, but here comes the finish. Little Miss Protocol has it at 4-5. She wins the Louisiana Jewel by 1 length. Alex is back from there. Then comes Zip Motion putting in a late bid. A big late run. Now coming from Freddie. 1 bite to get into second, but it's going to be Cajun Charlie who scores in the Louisiana Legacy by 5. Now I Know and Perry Compton up by 5 with a 16th of a mile to go. They're not going to get to Now I Know, and Now I Know she can run for sure. She wins the Delta Downs Princess. On the outside, coming on late is Longview Drive, but they've straightened away at the 16th pole, and Sabercat has the lead. Dropping back second is Basmati, but it's going to be Sabercat and Gerard Melanson to win the Delta Downs jackpot.
Great to have you on. Congratulations on the win. How did he feel underneath you going up the backstretch? Could you tell he had that much run and that he was capable of unleashing that kind of closing kick?
Yes, I mean, he really felt really strong on the backside, and I mean, I watched all his reruns, and his last race was really impressive.
Yeah, Gerard, we could tell how excited you were after winning the Delta jackpot. What does it feel like to win a $1 million race, and specifically for Delta, their marquee race in Louisiana? You being Cajun, I would assume that makes it all the more special.
Oh yeah, I was ecstatic. Lafitte, I really was. I had my whole family there, you know, and all of my fans and friends, and it was very special. You know, I come within like 6 inches of winning it 4 or 5 years ago on Golden Yank for Gary Thomas, and it was a wonderful feeling.
Here comes Alternative, Speed Score, and 40 Winks. Lots of company on the way. 16th pole approaching, and it is Alternative up front. Alternative has it now by a half length. Late rally inside by Basalt. Basalt coming on, and Basalt will give trainer Steve Asmussen career win number 6,000 here in the opener.
The countdown was nice. Gave you plenty of time to reflect getting to that point, and had a great week a couple weeks ago, and then the last couple of wins means a lot to us.
Steve, you got horses that all over the country, and you mentioned that you could not do this without your longtime assistants like Scott and Darren, Toby, these people and the team. How is there a way that you could celebrate with them together? Are you doing anything?
Well, it's definitely our accomplishment, and talking to Scott last night when we started working together, we were at 401 wins. So needless to say, this has been a team effort and something that, we obviously have done together.
You're watching HRTV Rewind.
Sal the Barber, kindergarten kid coming, and right one with a late move down the outside, down to the wire. Kindergarten kid gets up. Kindergarten kid, the winner. Sal the Barber was second, followed by right one third. And now Groom for Victory is cut loose into the final 16th. Groom for Victory and Johannesburg Smile. Nothing between them. Ichabod Crane third. It is going to be Groom for Victory narrowly. Over Johannesburg Smile, Ichabod Crane was third. Off the turn into the stretch, and Redeemed is the leader. The leader now by almost 2 as they come into the final furlong. Social Saw getting through on the inside, now to be second. Raison d'Etat is third. Arthur's Tale struggling well in fourth, and El Thebe is fifth. As they come down to the finish, it is Redeemed. Redeemed in the Discovery. He won up by 2.5 lengths over Social Saw. wound up being close for third there between Raison d'Etat and Arthur's Tale.
During a span of 8 seasons, yes, 8 seasons, Evening Attire developed a legion of fans. His popularity wasn't entirely based on his longevity as a racehorse. His reliability also played a key role. The gelding, a darling among New York racing fans, was a picture of consistency, finishing in the money 58% of the time.
And they're off. Evening Attire was off slowly today, just walked right out of the gate.
Evening Attire was usually a little tardy leaving the gate, but his patented late run often made up for his hesitant starts.
Yes, Evening Attire did it. The old warhorse did it.
The son of 1991 Breeders' Cup Classic winner Black Tie Affair rattled off stakes victories at each of New York's major tracks.
And it's the 9-year-old gelding, Evening Attire.
His richest payday for his trainer, Pat Kelly, and owners Joe Grant and T.J. Kelly came at Belmont Park in 2002.
And Evening Attire is going to do it, going away to win the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
One of Evening Attire's most talked about victories occurred in the 2004 Saratoga Breeders' Cup.
And Evening Attire takes the lead.
In that race, he defeated the previous year's Kentucky Derby winner, Funny Side, by 5 lengths. In July of 2008, Evening Attire took his final bow in the Greenwood Cup at Philly Park.
But it's Evening Attire drawing away. The 10-year-old's going to do it again.
Nearly white with age, but still very much young at heart, the 10-year-old won the 1.5-mile test by 8 1/4 lengths. These days, Evening Attire calls Ackendale Farm in Paulding, New York, home. No longer in the racing spotlight, Evening Attire is still part of the fabric of New York racing. He is remembered each year with a stakes in his honor at Aqueduct.
In the article in David Grenick's column, you decided at 55, if you could walk away, you did. Any regrets at this point?
Not whatsoever. No, I just wait. I was waiting for my birthday, and on November 6th, I announced it, and I was extremely pleased to be able to, to walk away in one piece, and I was, after a great career, so I was very happy and looking forward for the change.
What was it that first piqued your interest in horses, or did you just start off being put on a horse when you were like 6 months old?
Pretty much. I was raised in it, and my grandparents had horses of their own and trained in their backyard. So just growing up as a kid, I always thought I'd be a jockey, or I wanted to be a jockey, and was able to fulfill my dream.
Now you follow in the footsteps of Eddie Delahousse, of course, Kent DeSormo still riding. Which one of those guys did you look up to? And were you also riding at the bush tracks in match races as a young boy?
Growing up, Eddie was already kind of hit the big time, and I was really young at the time, so I knew his name but didn't really know him that well. And as Kent came up, I followed him probably a lot closer because I was getting older and fixing to start riding. But I followed them guys, and I did ride a few races on the bush tracks. It wasn't a whole bunch. I think I rode approximately 10 races. But I did get to get my feet wet and see what it was like.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
You didn't come here today wearing your Zenyatta hat.
No, I got my...
You got your Drosselmeyer hat on today. In other words, you came off the pace from. What's the key to coming up the pace on these kind of horses?
Well, first of all, talk about take some of the sting away. I mean, to have gotten beaten in that race, last year in 2010, and to come back and win it, and that kind of style and that fashion, the way he did, and it took a lot of the hurt away anyway.
When you were, let's just call it the half-mile pole in the race, take yourself back there. Did you say, I can win this thing at that point?
I said I could win it first jump out of the gate, to be honest with you. He warmed up beautifully. He was training really well. And, I mean, he immediately got into this rhythm. First jump out of there was just as smooth as could be, just boom. And he was just in a great rhythm. And I know him. I know what he's capable of. And, it took him a little time to come around early in the year. It just took some races. And then by the time he got there, and every step in the Classic was a really positive one. I felt, that he was going to run big. Now it was a matter if I was good enough to win or not. We didn't know that until about the 8th pole.
You're watching HRTV Rewind.
What do you make of the Union Regs Hansen Creative Cause top 3 finish?
Well, I think it's going to probably be a bit closer than people think in the males. I think Union Regs is going to get his share of votes. I think if people are going to look at the race and study it a little bit carefully, they can certainly still make a case for him. I know people have a tendency to just vote for the Breeders' Cup winner. In this case, especially in the juvenile category. When you win the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, you become the favorite for the Kentucky Derby. But, I mean, both horses ran absolutely terrific races. But you look at Union Regs' race, I mean, he basically gave that race away. It looked like he had that race won. He was incredibly wide every step of the way. And, and then it looked like he was going to blow right by Hansen. And then he just, for no reason at all, if you watch, he was just given a simple cross, and he just ducked out badly, and that cost him all momentum, and then he came on again.
And then you look at My Miss Aurelia's impressive performance at Churchill. She may be the biggest slam dunk that night, yes?
Oh, definitely. I mean, she's got the award wrapped up. In fact, I can just give you the top 3 placings in the Eclipse Awards. They're going to be the top 3 placings in the juvenile fillies. I mean, My Miss Aurelia is an absolute lock to get that award. And I think Grace Hall is going to probably finish second, and We Miss Frankie is going to finish third.
While it is the exception rather than the rule, there are Breeders' Cup Juvenile winners who were denied the Eclipse Award. Cash Run and Vale of York were both nudged from Eclipse Award glory by a pair of Bob Baffert-trained 2-year-olds. You could say Chaluki and Lookin' at Lucky lost the battle, but won the war. Both Chaluki and Lookin' at Lucky entered the World Championships with flawless records. That their respective Breeders' Cup defeats came at the hands of long shots only enhanced their attractiveness among Eclipse voters. The strong connection between the juvenile fillies and year-end honors is underscored by the fact that all but 3 winners earned the championship. In addition to Cash Run, Twilight Ridge, and My Flag lost out on the championship despite winning the Breeders' Cup. But those years, voters looked at the exceptional records that Family Style and Golden Attraction brought to the Breeders' Cup and forgave them their losses. Declan's Moon, Mariah's Mon, Easy Goer, and 49er are the other 2-year-olds whose defeat or absence at the Breeders' Cup did not prevent them from winning the Eclipse Award. But before you assume juvenile championships lead to garlands of roses and lilies, consider this. Since the industry began recognizing champions in 1936, just 10 juvenile champs have won the Kentucky Derby, and only 4 champion 2-year-old fillies went on to capture the Kentucky Oaks.
Now, the good news is they've given us buttons we can wear, to go ahead and explain why we're growing the mustache. And again, it's for Movember. Charity this month to raise awareness for prostate cancer awareness. And, 1 in 6 men can test positive for it. And, early indication, early detection helps prevent it and address the issue. And so anyway, we're growing the mustache, and yes, it's coming in nicely. Just a couple more weeks with it, and I might be able to actually twist up the handlebar that I've been tasked with growing.
It'll be interesting to have that mustache at the Thanksgiving table. I just don't know what's going to get trapped in there, but you'll have to take a picture, stuffing.
I just want to see you get a couple of pitches. We got to teach you how to throw a couple of pitches, and then Raleigh Fingers will live.
Telling you, Raleigh's the idol right now. I mean, I have great respect, more respect than I ever did for Raleigh Fingers after growing this stash.
I figured that was the hardest thing.
Inside the final furlong and a half, Blue Street has now got the lead. Gleam of Hope on the outside, Ali's Event, and Tadjaweed racing deep inside the final furlong. Blue Street has gone clear by 3 lengths, and it's Blue Street who's going to win for the 10th time and gives Robbie Alvarado his 4th win in the River City Handicap.
With the way that we've talked so much about the economic climate over the last couple of years, Did you anticipate in any way that you would experience the numbers, the increases that you saw at the Keeneland November sales?
Well, we were always hopeful going in. I mean, we were blessed this year. We had two spectacular dispersals of two well-known breeders, Edward P. Evans and Prince South Cal. And those dispersals helped fuel great enthusiasm and confidence in the market.
Was it easy to market because of the dispersal, market to the buyers out there, Jeffrey?
Yes, I mean, when you have a dispersal like Edward P. Evans's Spring Hill Farm, I mean, it was a work of 40 years in the making, and he and his staff at Spring Hill, Chris Baker and all, did a wonderful job. And then with Mr. South, I mean, what can we say about Billy Mott and what he did with Royal Delta? I mean, it just, everything came together.
Tell us a little bit about your dressage experience and your turning to training. I know you got a medal in the Pan Am Games, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, and of course I have been riding all my life, and mostly in eventing and jumping before I came to this country, and I was married here, and then gradually I started to go more and more into dressage. And I have been involved with American dressage almost since it started here. So I know a lot about the history and have always been on committees and, taken part in the organizational part as well as riding, competing myself and trying out for teams on several horses. And one of my horses, the same one I got a medal in the Pan Am Games, went to the Olympics.
What makes Curly Man McHugh so good? Tell us about your horse.
The little horse has got a lot of history behind him. I had broke him in training for a good friend of mine as a 2-year-old. He got to ride him very little before he went off on the job, and I purchased him back from him as a 4.5-year-old, started showing him in a stock horse competition. He was diagnosed with cancer, donated to Mississippi State to the college for some research. Of course, they reversed things and sent him back. We got back going and got in the middle of the ACTA competition, and then he had an accident with a truck and suffered from some separated vertebrae in his back, different things, but he's still going. We still made the competition, made the trip out to Texas, and showed a little stiffness due to the long trip, a little stress on him, but he's come back. We're back doing some team pinning, team sorting, some competitive trails still, and it's just amazing for a horse to, go through what he's went through and still moving. He's got a heart big as Texas.
That's all for Rewind this week. Here's a look at what's coming up next week on HRTV.
I'm surprised you didn't pick the 6 E Por Kappa. I have no idea how to even pronounce it. I wanted you to pick it just because I wanted to hear the name.
I knew better.
Kaha.
That's experience. See, I knew better.
Kaha. I just like the name, Good luck, Don Stevens.
Eep, op, ork, ah-ahs hung out just a bit wide. Back from there looking to launch a late rally is Eep, op, ork, ah-ah.